That's probably why technology hasn't been successful in the industry, is that a lot of it is being built by outsiders and marketed to the industry. I think for technology to be successful, it kind of has to come from within.
I feel like in a lot of ways, the wedding and events industry is an older industry from the standpoint of maybe we're not on the cutting edge of technology. Maybe SaaS companies are over here, right? Yeah. Software as a system companies. And then there's weddings and events and spreadsheets and shoeboxes and stuff like that. And you're marrying the two of them together. So tell me, what is Rock, Paper, Coin? What have you created?
Yes, exactly. So when we were working as wedding planners, we had a team of planners, and all of a sudden it just felt like with this new generation of millennials and kind of the Gen Zs coming up, these clients were coming in expecting a digital experience. And there's this huge disconnect because we were spending so much of our time in the onboarding process, educating them about how outdated the industry was. We were like, hey, so, you're going to have to sign your contracts by printing them off and mailing them, or you're going to have to pay by cash or check, or, all of these weird, like you said, spreadsheets or documents. And it just was so manual. And we were like, why are we educating about the disconnect? Like, what if we started working towards actually connecting the clients that we're now serving, and we need to update the industry that we know and love so much. So we just set out looking for technology and kind of came to understand that, really there's three key parties in the wedding industry. As we all know, there's like the vendors, like caterers and florists and cake bakers, and there's a wedding planner, and there's the couples getting married. And all three are collaborating on a lot of weddings together. Well, the software and technology that we were using was really designed more for like an A to B relationship, a business directly, booking their client. Well, when the wedding planner gets inserted in and wants to review the document or help streamline or pay on behalf of the client, it all starts to crumble and it all falls apart. So that's really where we saw maybe there's a cool opportunity here to create some software that allows all three parties to kind of communicate and integrate on one platform seamlessly, so that there isn't this disconnect, and clients can sign digitally, they can pay with their phone, they can pay with a credit card, and kind of bring that up to date too. So that's really where it was born from, and very naively, I have to admit. Nora and I jumped into this not knowing a thing about software, and it was probably best because I don't know if we knew what we knew now, like, would we still do it?
There's some of that naivete that I think, or maybe it's blind optimism. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I think it plagues in a very good way successful entrepreneurs, because like you said, I don't know if everything I know now about staffing, like if we would have started the staffing company,
right?
But it grows and you grow along with the process. And you probably know so much more about software than you ever. Now you're super dangerous at it. It's your company,
Totally. And, we tried out so much software in our research to really understand like what was the disconnect for our industry. I think, it's one of the oldest traditions, but no one's really taken the time to dust off our industry. So we've just kind of continued to operate with the tools that we have. And I think what we really wanted to do is like, let's hit pause. We have this idea. Let's really study the industry and what everyone needs. And then let's go out and actually build a solution that is designed for the industry and make people's lives easier. So we can all get back to designing bouquets, serving delicious food. It's like, it's so easy just to fall into these old habits that become a time suck.
Totally. Did you feel any friction or experience any pushback as you're going? Did you raise some money to start this?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you're going to maybe a venture capital firm, or I'm not sure exactly how you raise the money, but I know, Silicon Valley, like thinking of a typical Silicon Valley model, they're looking for something that's very forward thinking, scalable. It's, how much can we put in? How fast can we get it back out? Like it's very transactional. The wedding and events industry is kind of the antithesis of that in a lot of ways.
100%.
What was your experience with that?
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, raising money is the hardest thing that any company will do, because you are building and you're so passionate about a company. And then somebody comes in and is like, I want to poke all these holes and tell you what's wrong with your company.
Yeah.
That's so mean. And like, no, thank you. But it's also very like humbling as a business owner, because you do have to step back and you do have to say, these are like really valid points of what they're saying and their concerns. And this is how, we're going to rebuttal, or this is like how we're taking the business. And so, raising that money was really what we learned early on is education. A lot of the companies that we were meeting with, they would view the industry in kind of a one and done, like you get married once and then you're gone. So like, why do we want to invest in you? And that's how a lot of it is viewed. And I think that's fueled by the household, big names in the industry, such as like The Knot and David's Bridal and Zola. They really are geared towards the couples that are getting married today. Well, there's this whole other side of the industry, and that's the small to medium-sized businesses that are powering the industry. And that's really where we focus. And that's our expertise, is how can we help these small businesses grow? And when we started to educate, instead of just going out and telling about our business, we started to say, this is how the industry operates. It's not a one and done. These businesses have reoccurring revenue every year. They're growing. The industry, in normal times is booming. It's very busy. That's our focus. And then it kind of was a different lens. So, investors got to see it now through how we all view it in the industry, which is this incredibly successful, very creative, but a little bit older in the technology industry.
It's interesting because just from my own personal experience, even though our industry does serve hypothetically one-time clients, right? We are part of this organism, this very fluid organism of referrals. And, I know you, even something like this tech platform, I know 10 other pros. I'm saying, my goodness, like, I don't want to I'm staffing someone and they want to send me a check or something like that for the services we're doing for a catering company. And I'm like, hey, have you heard of rock, paper, coin? So from a collaboration standpoint, from a referral standpoint, yes, even though you're getting new clients every time, you are part of this kind of juggernaut that's helping millions and millions of people get married.
And I think it's hard from the outside to see that, because it has to be one of the like smallest, biggest industries, in that it is so referral heavy. And it's not even just in your local network. Like, you could hop on to a community board and ask for a referral in a completely different state. And you're going to get, all of these people reaching out to you, offering up their advice and referrals and why you should book this photographer. So I think that it's just a very misunderstood industry, and you really have to be ingrained in it to understand it. And I think that's probably why technology hasn't been successful in the industry, is that a lot of it is being built by outsiders and marketed to the industry. I think for technology to be successful, it kind of has to come from within, to better serve those businesses.